Double trouble. Stocks and commodities on the decline. In today's cover story, space race, the shape of office furniture to come, plus how to profit on the strong economic signal indicating the economy is on track. And in Traders Unplugged, the hunt for the next big market movers. First Business starts now.
You're watching First Business. Financial news, analysis, and today's investment ideas.
Good morning, I'm Angela Miles. It's Friday, September 26th. In today's first look, a broad-based sell-off. There is red across the screen as traders and investors dump stocks and commodities on Thursday. The Dow had a super sell-off, plummeting 264 points, the NASDAQ 88, and the S&P 32. One of the biggest losers on the day, a 3% decline in Apple that wiped out $23 billion in market cap. It was partly on concerns about Apple's troubled iOS 8 system and those bendable iPhone 6 Plus models, what the company says those flexible phones are rare cases. In the after-hour session, Micron Technologies topped earnings estimates, sending that stock 3% higher. Nike jumped to a record high of $84 after beating Wall Street estimates. And Chrysler is reportedly recalling almost 350,000 older model cars for ignition switch issues. In Trader Talk this morning, Phil Flynn of Price Futures Group is here to help us wrap up the week. What a week it has been. We had a steep drop yesterday. We've had some other triple-digit losses with the Dow, and then we had the buy and the dippers come into the market. What do you think is likely to happen in today's session?
I think you have to be very, very careful. There was a lot of bad news. A lot of people are talking about a potential recovery, a much-needed correction. But I think with the risk of what's going on with ISIS overseas, the increased terror threat, people are going to be very nervous about wanting to be long over the weekend. So I'm looking for more profit taking today. I think it's going to be a wild day, so buckle up, get ready. You're going to see some big moves, I think.
And quickly, what about oil?
I think oil right now is under a lot of pressure. You know, we have been going after ISIS. Actually, that's kind of a bearish situation because we're going to, make oil less of a threat. But more than anything, the strong dollar is making it very hard for oil to go up.
Thank you, Phil Flynn. Traders are scanning over the latest haul of economic data. New orders for durable goods plunged a record 18.2% in August, but that follows a 22.5% gain in July. Economists note the numbers are volatile because of the ups and downs of demand for pricey commercial aircraft. Take that out, and durable goods rose 0.7%. Today's GDP number is expected to show modest improvement. Scott Wren, senior equity strategist with Wells Fargo Advisors, predicts mild growth over the next 2 years.
I think it would be a mistake for people to believe that we're in a new accelerated economic growth state. I think that this year we'll get out of this year for the full year with about a 2.1% GDP growth. I think next year will be better, but it won't be a lot better.
Wren adds that investors should take advantage of buying dips as the market climbs. Paul Eggers is standing by. He's filling in for Chuck Coppola today. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Angie. The nation's Attorney General is stepping down. Although Eric Holder was successful in plucking multi-billion-dollar penalties from big banks, he was criticized for not putting Wall Street executives involved in the financial crisis behind bars. Holder says one of the tough issues he faced was bad behavior by companies, but no evidence of criminal wrongdoing that would stand up in a court of law. The country's first African-American Attorney General says he leaves with mixed emotions.
Proud of what the men and women of the Department of Justice have accomplished over the last 6 years, and at the same time, very sad that I will not be a formal part of the great things that this department and this president will accomplish over the next 2.
So this is bittersweet. But with his typical dedication, Eric has agreed to stay on as Attorney General until I nominate a successor.
That successor, of course, will need confirmation by the Senate.
A deal's a deal. A federal judge orders BP to pay up on company's claims of damages from the 2010 Gulf oil spill. The oil giant has argued that nearly 800 businesses overestimated spill-related claims. The judge has allowed for a new funding formula going forward. BP's potential liabilities for the spill are nearing $50 billion.
U.S. Bank is paying a penalty for unfairly charging customers for identity protection. The bank will pay $57 million to 420,000 customers who never receive security services. It follows an investigation by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The bank sold the products called Privacy Guard and Identity Secure from 2003 to 2012.
Russian President Vladimir Putin appears to be losing a game of chicken with the United States over actual chickens. Putin signed a decree in August banning the import of American poultry. It was in retaliation for U.S. sanctions in the wake of Russia's aggressive targeting of Ukraine. The poultry industry, however, says the move has meant higher prices and less choices for Russian consumers, but there's no net effect on American chicken producers.
Ford is gearing up for hiring. The automaker is adding 1,200 jobs and a second shift at its Kansas City plant. It's due to strong demand for its Transit commercial van. The plant in Missouri will become the car company's largest volume factory.
It's game on for a video game retailer this Christmas. GameStop plans to hire 25,000 seasonal workers, a 47% bump up from last year. GameStop is setting up for extra shoppers trading in older smartphones now that the iPhone 6 is out. New versions of Xbox and PlayStation are already boosting business. GameStop's profit nearly doubled in the last quarter. Shares traded last at $42.06.
Halloween sales are expected to be a treat this year. New estimates out from the National Retail Federation point to average spending of $77.52 per person this Halloween. That's up from $75.03 last year. All told, consumers will carve out $7.4 billion this year celebrating the holiday. The numbers make Halloween one of the fastest growing consumer holidays.
Mattel is frozen out from making hundreds of millions of dollars on a blockbuster film from Disney. Hasbro, which is famous for G.I. Joe and Transformers, has secured the doll license for Elsa, who stars in the hit film Frozen. For years, Mattel has dominated the toy market with Barbie and American Girl dolls. Now Hasbro is making a play for little girl favorites.
Creating corporate culture has become a primary focus for executives in all industries, and that has put a new emphasis on workplace design. In today's cover story, we explore how a firm's office space can lead to bottom-line success. The classic office look of cubes and corner offices is quickly disappearing. Firms like Facebook, Twitter, and Google have created more open spaces with the idea of increasing employee engagement.
Google's policy is we want to make work so engaging that you want to come in, and they know that their secret sauce is the interaction with each other.
Rex Miller literally wrote the book on the relationship between office space and culture, titled Change Your Space, Change Your Culture. He sees a firm's awareness of that link as a key driver to their success, citing open source software leader Red Hat, online retailer Zappos, and cloud storage site Dropbox as firms that understand how office design can create a successful culture.
All these companies are built around a culture of creative engagement, problem solving.
This new focus on how workspaces can contribute to productivity and the bottom line has turned office designers into corporate consultants.
There's a lot of people that want to hear from us about how we can help them solve their problems. They don't necessarily want to hear from us just about furniture.
Ultimately, firms are open to new ideas in office space, knowing that competition across industries is so tough today that time at the top can be limited.
They have companies that get it, and then you're going to read every year new statistic companies like Kodak and others that didn't get it, and oops, they're not here. 1950, the average lifespan of an S&P 500 company was 60 years. Last year it was 12 years. So we see that survival is not guaranteed.
Miller adds that Google leaves no stone unturned when it comes to tracking how changes to an office environment can impact employee productivity. They even have an internal metric measuring what color wall people will respond to best.
CEOs working in the corner office may be earning more than you think. A Harvard Business School study found that most Americans think CEOs earn 30 times more than average employees. Try 350 times more. The average CEO in the U.S. earns at least $12 million per year. NerdWallet discovered in 2012 the typical McDonald's and Starbucks employees work more than half a year to earn what the CEO makes in an hour.
Startling information is coming to light about female veterans of war. The number of women serving in the military is increasing dramatically and could double in the next decade. Still, female fighters returning from Iraq and Afghanistan find it difficult to translate their military skills into civilian employment.
The rates of unemployment in male veterans have gone progressively down. The women are staying high.
Trends about women of war were uncovered in a study by disabled American veterans. The report also reveals info on the high number of female veterans who are homeless. The DAV is calling for more government assistance programs to address the issues.
Corporate America awaits what the FAA will say today about commercial drones. The Aviation Administration is signaling it will grant permission for the small unmanned aircraft to be used on movie sets. If allowed, it will be the first time that businesses will be able to use drones in populated areas. The use of drones is legal for non-commercial use under certain limited circumstances.
Not only has India become the first country to successfully reach Mars on its first attempt, it has also done so on the cheap. At a cost of just $74 million, India's Mars mission cost roughly 25% less than the movie Gravity. The Sandra Bullock, George Clooney sci-fi hit had a $100 million budget.
Turning to the economic calendar for today, it's a GDP number for the second quarter and Michigan's sentiment for September. On the earnings calendar, BlackBerry and Finish Line. Still to come, trains, planes, and automobiles. Tips on investing in sectors that are on a roll in America. Then in Traders Unplugged, the guys go toe-to-toe over the next big power play in the market. And later, a trader's take on profiting on the tech tumble in Chart Talk. Auto industry is driving growth in the U.S. economy, but there are also strong economic signals coming from the energy and agriculture sectors. Don Blank, Chief Equity Strategist at Zacks, is on set with us this morning to explain how investors can get on board. Good to have you on our show.
Thanks, Angie. Good to be here.
And definitely, products are on the move again between the rails and the trucks right now. So what's happening in the rail industry?
We've always thought about the railroad industry as an east-west story. They're going across the country from east to west, the story of the United States. But it's now becoming not only that, but a north-south story, because NAFTA is now 20 years old. And there's so much reform going on in Mexico and so much growth going on in Canada that we're linking it through the rail systems. And this is creating a whole new level of growth for freight transportation on those autos, on oil that we're producing in the North American production build that's happening, and all the plastics that are coming out, all the natural gas, all the agricultural commodities we're shipping.
And you came with some stocks to watch that are showing some signs of demand here. Let's start with your top pick here. It is Trinity Industries.
Right, Trinity Industries. This is a company that manufactures, leases, and sells and markets rail cars. So this company is out there selling these cars to the various railroads, and they're new types of cars. They're cars that are pressurized to carry natural gas, new types of oil transportation on rails because the pipelines aren't there, new ways to carry plastic pellets that are made from the new energy. So this is what's exciting, is we're using technology in the form of rail cars to add new value to the United States economy.
That is exciting. And what about Wabtec?
Wabtec, fancy name, but Westinghouse Air Brake Technology. This is a very old company in Pittsburgh. This company makes air brakes and locomotives and all the technology, switches, things like that for railroads. So again, you're seeing a high-tech company, Wabtec, that's coming to the fore and earning and growing a business that used to be forgotten.
Don Blank of Zacks, always a pleasure to have on our show. Thanks. Have a great Friday.
Thank you.
Coming up, a trader who's bracing for a major stock market correction. And in Traders Unplugged, a new spin on vinyl records. That's after the break. Reality show Traders Unplugged this morning. Alan Nuckman and Scott Shality are here to battle for the bucks. Good morning, guys. Let's get it going with round number one. Woulda, coulda. Buying low in Chipotle and Starbucks has made investors super rich. What are the next big performers?
Well, looking at the list of big performers, I've got a theme here. If you were going to jump on board now, obviously Chipotle up 1,400% from its IPO. It's kind of tough here at these levels. But I've got a theme. It goes to agriculture. It goes to grain, low corn prices, better margins, so I'm going with BW3 chicken wings and Popeyes. I'm looking for that chart to move quickly 10% up into the mid almost to the $50 range.
You know what? You should be wearing a cheerleading outfit because
I like chicken.
No, after yesterday's sell-off, you're still going to cheerlead the stock market and want people to put their money into it. So what I'm saying is they don't buy anything right now.
It's over?
No, it's not over. Don't buy anything right now.
The death of the market. The death of the market's a great
money in at these levels.
Round 2, gold rush. Big money is buying big bars of gold at $1,200. What does that tell you?
Tells me big money's really smart, and it's going to go screaming higher from here. That's what Alan would have said. I'm going to say this. I'm a seller at big money because I think if we're going to go into a deflationary cycle, which we're already starting to go in, hence all the commodity indexes at 5-year lows, I think gold goes to 1,000. So let them buy it. Let them buy it off of me. But I don't know why all of a sudden they're smart because they're buying gold bullion.
No, they were buying big bars. They're buying giant ones.
Oh, that's different.
$600,000.
So if you split it up, is it worth more or worth less?
That was why the question was odd.
It's ridiculous.
I think gold may be nearing a bottom for a couple of reasons. The dollar made new multi-year highs, but gold did not make new lows. So that is a positive. That is a positive.
Is there a red side of your card?
I don't want to sell at $1,200. We're down significantly off the highs.
Yeah,
How much downside is left?
Right, so go buy housing. Go buy housing. Everything's going to go up. Everything's going up.
Home sales had a great month. New home sales had a record month. New home sales. It's a fact.
Granny, put all your money in the stock market. Everything's fine.
Round 3, Google Eyes of the list of the most Googled brands in each state. Which is the best investment now? I will give you an example. For instance, in Wisconsin, they love to Google Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Well, anything that's Googled that's going to be cheap because I think nobody's going to have any money. So I still do like McDonald's because ultimately at the end of the day...
You like McDonald's?
I like McDonald's.
Okay.
You know what? And you should try it sometime, Alan. When you can push yourself away from that white tablecloth. You know what? I want to go to McDonald's when they have white tablecloths.
My pick is John Deere. John Deere. I get my tea at McDonald's. John Deere, Iowa is the most Googled.
It's been getting crushed.
It's been getting crushed. There's huge support at 80. It's 2-year lows, and that's also the midpoint of the last 5 years.
Eggs guy. Okay, so
I think it's an opportunity. Buy low, sell higher.
So
that's the idea.
2 record crops back to back.
Sell higher.
The farmer's going to have the worst year he's had in 8 years.
The divergence
and Alan wants to go long John Deere.
On to your bonus round question. It's a classic rewind. Which retailer claims to be the #1 seller of vinyl in the world? Is it Target, Tower Records, or Urban Outfitters?
Urban Outfitters.
None of the above. I think she's trying to trick us.
The answer is Urban Outfitters.
This is getting too easy. You know what? We need a new guest next week.
Scott, you're just getting smarter by the minute here. I'm so impressed. First Business continues right after this. Trader Tim Bigham of Trading Block is among some of the folks watching this market and waiting for a tumble. Good to have you on the show on this Friday.
Good morning, Angie. Great to be here.
Are we in for a 10% correction anytime soon, Tim?
Well, I've been saying that probably for too long now, but, you know, at some point, you know, I think valuations do matter, especially with rates having nowhere to go literally but up from here. So I just think valuations are stretched when you look at a price to sales basis. Extreme's a historic high that's been trading at forever. So I'm waiting for the market to come down before I'd be interested in really adding any stocks to the portfolio.
But wouldn't a pullback be healthy for this stock market?
Absolutely. I mean, the froth that we've seen in here has been, in my opinion, you know, engineered by that free money. You know, people buying stocks simply because it's going up and there's no other game in town. So I think it's important to break down trader versus investor. So as an investor, you know, I'm absolutely hoping for the froth to come out, get back to what I kind of deem a more normal kind of trading environment.
We have had some heavy hitters in this market: Gilead Sciences, Apple, Tesla. Are those the names that will fall first?
Absolutely. Those are the names that have run up the most, you know, because of free money. Apple may be in a slightly different camp. At least the valuations there are a little, you know, less extreme. But, you know, all those big momentum names, you know, the GoPros of the world, right? The Netflix, certainly when they start to fall, remember what goes up comes down even quicker if you look back in the history of the market. So if you are in these names, I think it's not a bad time to at least be trimming out of some of them and wait for a dip to be, you know, consider getting into any of them.
Always good to have your insights on our show. Thank you, Tim.
You bet. Thank you, Angie.
Well, that's it for this week. Coming up on Monday, tee up your day with First Business and find out how one country club is still in the green 2 years after hosting the Ryder Cup. From all of us at First Business, have a great week ahead.